Okay, YouTube, we've got the Fass Fuel system pump replacement. Okay, I kind of feel stupid for letting this truck sit around for 6 months. It's real common. This pump's about 4 or 5 years old. That's about what you get out of them. There's a 4-year warranty on them. I see the other guy, shoot, I can't remember his name on YouTube exactly. The video I was going to make, I had to YouTube it because he said the same thing. These directions, they got a really lousy printer. The only thing I got problem with, it's very straightforward. It's 3 bolts to take off. You can't mess it up. You undo your lines, undo 3 bolts holding this on. I dropped it off the truck. It's four bolts that hold your pump in. You got to take your filter off. Then you can take the 4 bolts out and your pump falls off. Now, my pump fell on the ground. This was on the ground. So I'm like, uh-oh, where'd that go? And I was trying to stick it in here. So obviously the ball sticks right in, fits right there. Now mine came with a spring. And I don't know if somebody added this. I don't think I had any O-rings on my old pump. I just put these new O-rings on the new pump. It matched up exactly with the wire and everything. I guessed buying from Summit Racing. I got lucky. It's pump 1001. Regular replacement Fass motor. Straightforward, but set new O-rings and check ball in place. Now, I can't see in this picture. Man, it looks like something's around that check ball, but I think they just set the check ball in like the other guy in the video. He didn't have a spring on his. I don't know. So I could just put that there, and that check ball will flop around from there to there, and I can't see it missing. You know what? I don't know. Ooh, there's a chunk out of my finger. Fuel's getting right in there, lubing it up. So I don't know if somebody that knew what they were doing added this. I can't see it being a problem just putting this spring back here. So I'm assuming that, okay, your pump runs, it shuts down, boom, your check ball goes down here to keep this, boom, the fuel right there. Pump starts to run again. This pump, let's see here. This is going to be upside down, so the ball's going to, whatever, it's either going to plug here, and then you shut down, and the ball's going to plug so your fuel doesn't drain back. Start back up again, it pushes the ball, and what do you think, guys? Leave in the comments. Spring or no spring? Did the last guy know what he was doing? Was he guessing? Is this part of the kit? Comment, please. All right? But pretty easy, real easy to change these Fass fuel pumps. The symptoms, I had the exact same symptoms as the guy online. He couldn't figure out what was going on. My fuse would pop. Okay, I've got the Edge Programmer 2. Edge Attitude. Tells you everything you can think of on this car. Boost. Oh, I'm not going to turn the key now. I got my battery hooked up still. Anyway, it tells you everything kind of stat you can think of on this car except lift pump pressure. And what you want is that Fass fuel pump giving enough lift pump pressure to your, it's a CP3 or CP4 on a 06 Dodge Ram Cummins 2500 Mega Cab 4x4 pre-emissions 06. Usually you got a $200 lift pump in the tank. If that goes out, you starve your CP3 or CP4 fuel pump up here, which is a $2,000 or $3,000 fuel pump, which if that goes bad, the little stuff throws all in your injectors. You're talking about $10,000 retail fix. So that's why everyone wants the Fass fuel pump. The better filtration, the better water remover with the better lift pump in the back. $700 is worth it. So everybody does it. So you provide enough lift pump pressure so you save your CP3 pump or CP4 up front. So, but aftermarket fuel pumps, just if you're into drag racing or anything, those aren't loud Holley fuel pumps, they burn out. It's aftermarket crap. It's not like a factory fuel pump in the tank. But real easy change, 4 bolts. Set this right back on here. Obviously got a check ball spot for the check ball to go here. This is sitting in the car like like this. Nope, I can't get the check ball out of here now. So the check ball would either sit in here. Gravity's going to go down. Pump turns on. I'm assuming it's pumping the fuel here. It's got to be pumping the fuel here or here. And the ball would go up while it's pumping. And then boop, drop back down in here. This goes up and down. So I don't think you need a spring. Doesn't say anything about the spring in the directions. Comments, please. Reset 4 bolts. Plug in pump, turn on key, lubricate the da-da-da-da. You should feel suction at nipple. Little gasket, suction. I'm just going to loosen the filters and turn it on and spill fuel all over the ground is what I'm going to do to test it. Run pump, check for leaks, tighten up your filter after it's leaking all over the ground. Check for correct PSI. Now see, that's the one thing I've got to add in this truck. I need a lift pump gauge. That's important to know that's working, because I was having the symptoms that the last guy was having. This truck ran so perfect for the last 25,000 miles. Then I got stuck at the scrapyard. Wouldn't start. I was in a rush to get out of there. Props to the man that dragged me around through the scale and back around to weigh my truck. Cool dude. Waited an hour for my buddy to come up while we were doing some other stuff. And then he's like, you check your fuse? I'm like, oh, shoot. Sure enough, I checked my fuse under the hood. Inline fuse for the pump. It was popped. It's happened twice before over the last year or so. I think my pickup in my tank doesn't go down. I try to fill up. Ooh, I don't like that. Oh, I squeezed the... Why is it loose? I squeezed my brakes. I just did the rear brakes while I was at it, and I squeezed the caliper back in. I like to wash that down because brake fluid eats paint. Anyway, I got the shoddy wiring going to my fuel pump. The last guy did. Inline fuel fuse. I got to double check that this is proper. I don't remember what I got in here. 15. 15. I'm going to double check online if that's correct. It's good now. But I did pop that fuse 2 or 3 times. Maybe when I ran low on fuel or something. So I'm going to stay above a quarter tank minimum. And I think it's a 4 or 5 year old pump. They go bad. And so I couldn't start. Boom, put a fuse in. It ran. But then I think I ran low on fuel. And I probably did it in for the pump. I did put, about a year ago, I mistakenly put 4.5 gallons of gas in. And I said, I'll fill up with diesel. I put 30 gallons of diesel, 4.5 gallons of gas. Ran it real easy, didn't get into the boost, didn't get into high. You figure if you run gas in your truck, it'll run, but man, it'll run real good. You get into turbo boost, man, you're going to blow that thing up. You got a lot of compression going on already. So anyway, I just ran it easy, topped off after a quarter tank, topped off after the quarter tank with diesel, and no problem for a year. I ran at least, 10, 20,000 miles. I don't think that did any damage. I think when I ran low on fuel, like when you run a pump out, that's it. That's the end of your pump usually. 4 or 5 years in a pump, boom, I'm going to put it back on. I'm going to just set this check ball here like the other guy did in the video and like it shows on the directions. I can't see any need for a spring because there's nowhere for this ball to go except in this hole or float up to that hole. Can't go anywhere else, so I'm going to do that unless somebody in the comments tells me otherwise. Anything else? Titanium fast pump. Got the Wix filters. I think one thing I want to note, it might be difficult to put this back on because I'm in Michigan, salt belt. And the last guy used silver fitting to a brass fitting. So I don't think that's pipe dope. I think that's corrosion. I could not unscrew that, so I'm not going to try. I'm going to spin the whole motor onto that fitting again. and do it that way instead of trying to break that apart. It'll probably be a disaster. I'll have to go get that fitting again, get it crimped on. I'm going to check this for leaks. Real good right here. This spins on that, so I'm going to look for leaks after I get this back together. Okay. Notation, Detroit axle, cheap, rotors and pads. 25,000 miles, really 20,000 miles on rear brake pads. What in the world? Go on. I am quite certain that they were not hanging up. I checked for that. And poor performance. I towed heavy. I was doing some work out at the house. But I drive like a sissy. When I'm towing heavy, I'll take it easy. I do not have trailer brakes, so I use the truck a little more. But 25,000 miles, man, I'd not tow and drive like that. I did the fronts at the same time, and I believe they're still good. I believe I used O'Reilly pads up front. Can't remember. But I'm going with the... I got a big shout out to Wagner laser cut pads, $75 at O'Reilly's. I feel about twice as heavy, and I put them on my heavy duty Chevy truck. And 30 years car experience, I've never felt a difference between brake pads. There's no way it's going to change pedal feel. Yes, these absolutely give me precise pedal feel. I can stop at 3 miles an hour and control the stopping even with a heavy trailer and just give strong braking, no fade, no mushy pedal. A different pedal feel just from $75 brake pads. Very impressed with these. I'll put them on all my heavy duty trucks from now on. These rotors should be fine. I'm going to pad slap it. Okay. Fass Fuel pump, real easy. Leave me comments about that check ball spring.